One of the things we've been trying to cover here on this show is vaccine hesitancy, some of the causes behind it. CNN traveled to Oklahoma to talk to people who are saying they are adamant against the vaccine to see if they could be persuaded, what their reasons were, et cetera. It's a pretty interesting result. Let's take a look.
It's breakfast time in Boise City, Oklahoma. And I have this question.
Does anybody in this restaurant think it's a good idea to take the vaccine? No. Raise your hand if you think it's a good idea. Anyone here, is it a good idea to take the vaccine? Raise your hand if you think it's a good idea. Not one person here thinks it's a good idea? Complete quiet.
I'm just not going to take it.
What if President Trump came out and was very robust and said, take the vaccine? I took it even though I didn't tell anybody about it. It was kind of done secretly, but I think you should take it. He said it a little bit, but he hasn't been robust about it. If he was robust and said, take it, would you?
No.
Trump's a liberal New Yorker. Why would we listen to him either?
Did you vote for him?
He was the best option.
Trump is a liberal New Yorker. Why would we listen to him either?
New York values.
You know, I mean, we've covered some of the numbers here. According to polls, 50% of Republicans who haven't gotten the shot say they're not going to get the shot. Segments like that lead me to believe those numbers are probably low. I mean, we know that there is like an undercount bias for especially working class voters in general. And so I think it could be even higher than that. And we've also covered here, Frank Luntz did focus groups with people. He was really shocked because he thought President Trump, who did come out this week and say pretty assertively, like, everybody should go get the vaccine, he thought that that would be the big difference maker for people. But when he did these focus groups, they were like, we really don't care what any politician says. We definitely don't care what, like, Obama or Bill Clinton or anybody else says. And we really don't even care what Trump says about this. So not a good situation.
No, it's not. And it's actually, this is always my biggest fear, which is that what we're going to have is like a dissident part of the population which is deeply distrustful of institutions because of like a 25-year, 30-year slide in terms of trust. And then what's going to happen is that people in New York and in D.C. are going to turn this into a partisan thing, are going to be like these nasty, they refuse to get their shots, and they're going to lecture them when they die. We know a lot of these people are poor and suffer from obesity as well. And so it's going to be like this snickering thing of like red and blue America. Everybody would be laughing at the death rates.
Another education divide.
Exactly. It's an education divide. And listen, I have tried with as much empathy as possible to listen, say why. And the number one reason I hear is, well, we can reach herd immunity anyway without it. That does not seem to be the case. I've looked a lot into this. And even the most like anti-lockdown, pro-herd immunity people say, yes, natural immunity is a huge part of it, but vaccination is what boosts that as high as it can possibly go. And wouldn't you want to contribute to that, which means that we can go back to normal and not even go back to normal, which means that there can be no excuse by anybody, right or left, to try and put restrictions on your life. The second one I hear is it's scary. It's a new technology, mRNA vaccine, only emergency use authorization. I understand that too. It's the first couple of vaccines widespread rolled out throughout the world, all on mRNA technology, but it's not brand new in the way that people are saying. It's been in development for a long, long time. People haven't done enough education in order to say, look, here's what the mRNA, look, I'm not a scientist. Maybe we should bring one on. Be like, what the hell is an mRNA? How did it work? It's been in development for like a decade. This is the first time it's been emergency use authorized. Like I said, my entire family has a vaccine except for me. They are all fine. I just want people to know that.
Yeah,
and everybody I know who's ever had it is completely fine. So just so, you know, like I'll use my platform as well. These are the things that you have to do, but it's going to take a long time. There's just no way around it.
It was interesting in those focus groups, actually, that message about, because I think there is a concern of, oh, well, they've never used this technology before. The message from public health official, Dr. Frieden, of like, no, this wasn't just, invented on the spot.
Magic.
This has been the result of years of work around the world to get to this place. This wasn't just, something we snapped our fingers and happened. That was actually the most effective messaging on this. What you're likely to see is, you've had with liberals and people on the left, there's like a strain of anti-vax or vaccine skepticism as well. And you'll see these little outbreaks, these little hot spots where something crops back up. And so in a town like this one, where there is obviously a lot of skepticism, you're likely to see that. And I just want to be really clear when I say that it's an education divide issue. I'm not saying like, oh, these people are stupid and they don't know. There's a lot of good reasons why people who are working class or working poor have been totally screwed by the government a lot of times. So I'm not saying that like that skepticism isn't justified or that they're ignorant or stupid for feeling that way. But you have to look at the context of, number one, you've had 40 years of anti-government rhetoric coming from the right, but also from the Democratic Party. It's just been like the mainstream of political discourse is the, scariest words in the English language are I'm from the government, I'm here to help. So there's that's deeply ingrained. And then there's an actual track record to back it up of government failures, including during the coronavirus. So, this is the cost of failures at the government level, of a virulent anti-government ideology. It leads to a breakdown in trust, and it leads to this situation where you have a sizable minority of the population. It has declined since the election, but a sizable minority of the population saying absolutely not.
Yeah, and like I said, screaming at them isn't going to do it. Probably just make it worse. Try and talk to people with empathy.
100% will make it worse.
Only way we can deal with this.
All right, more Rising for you after this.